Right. So you think you're quick, you've got skills, and you love beating defenders. But here's the problem. You're probably making the same mistakes that are keeping you average instead of elite. And I'm going to prove it to you in the next 10 minutes. See, I've analyzed hundreds of wingers from Sunday league to professional level, and 90% of them are doing the exact same things wrong. The crazy part? These mistakes are so easy to fix, but nobody talks about them. So if you want to actually become that winger everyone fears, the one who gets picked first, the one scouts are watching, you need to stop doing what I'm about to show you. Let's jump straight into mistake number 1. And this one's going to hurt because I guarantee you're doing it right now. You're running straight at defenders every single time. Look, I get it. You're fast. You want to use that pace. But here's what's actually happening. You receive the ball, you knock it forward, and you sprint directly at the fullback. And what does he do? He just stands there, waiting, because you've made his job incredibly easy. Think about it like this. When you run straight at a defender, you're giving him one decision to make. Stay or dive in. That's it. But the best wingers in the world, the Vinicius, the Sullas, the Sakas, they're doing something completely different. They're running at angles. Watch Vinicius Jr. closely. When he gets the ball, he doesn't run straight. He attacks the space between the fullback and the center back. Why? Because now the defender has to make 3 decisions instead of 1. Does he step out? Does he stay? Does he cover inside? And while he's thinking, Vinicius is already past him. Here's what you need to do instead. When you receive the ball, take your first touch at a 45-degree angle. Not straight forward, diagonal. This immediately puts the defender on his back foot because he doesn't know if you're going down the line or cutting inside. You've just doubled your options and have his confidence. And here's the thing that nobody tells you. The angle you attack from determines the space you create. Attack straight, create no space. Attack diagonal. Suddenly there's gaps everywhere. But that's just the first mistake. The next one is even worse, and it's costing you goals. You're crossing too early. This is massive. You beat your man, you're flying down the wing, you look up, and you just whip it in from 30 meters out. And what happens? The keeper catches it. The defender heads it clear. Your striker's screaming at you. Here's the brutal truth. Crosses from deep positions have about a 15% success rate. That's terrible. But you know what's crazy? Crosses from inside the penalty area have almost a 40% success rate. That's nearly 3 times better. So why are you crossing so early? Because it feels safer. You're tired from the run, the defender's recovering, and you panic. But elite wingers do the opposite. They drive into the box. Watch Mohamed Salah. When he beats his man, he doesn't celebrate by crossing immediately. He takes another 3 touches, gets to the byline, and then delivers. Why? Because from there, the keeper can't come out. The defenders are turning their backs. The angles are lethal. Here's your new rule. If you can take another touch toward goal, take it. The closer you get before crossing, the more dangerous you become. And if the defender shows you inside, even better. Drive to the penalty spot and shoot. But wait, there's something even more important about crossing that you're definitely getting wrong. Your crosses have no variation. Let me ask you something. Do you hit the same cross every single time? High and hopeful to the back post? Yeah, thought so. And that's exactly why defenders find it so easy to deal with you. Think about it from their perspective. If they know you're going to float it to the far post every time, they just position themselves there. It's like telling someone exactly where you're going to shoot a penalty. They're going to save it. The best wingers have at least 4 different crosses in their game. The low-driven cross across the 6-yard box. The pull back to the edge of the area. The early cross to catch defender square. And the delayed cross after a fake shot. For completely different deliveries that make you unpredictable. Here's what you need to practice. In training, force yourself to hit different types of crosses. One session, only low crosses. Next session, only pullbacks. Train your variety, and suddenly in games, you'll have options instead of just hope. And here's a secret that changed everything for me. The best cross isn't always the one that reaches your teammate. Sometimes the best cross is the one that forces an error. A low, hard cross across the box that the defender has to deal with under pressure. That's when own goals happen. That's when chaos happens. Right, mistake number 4 is about to expose something you probably don't even realize you're doing. You're not attacking your fullback's weak foot. This is going to sound simple, but it's going to change your entire game. Every fullback has a weak side, and you're not exploiting it. If you're playing against a right-footed right back, and you keep trying to go down the outside, you're playing into his strength. His strong foot is his right foot, which means his right side is his comfortable side. But if you attack inside, onto his left foot, he's immediately weaker. Same thing in reverse. Left-footed fullback, go outside, make him turn, make him use his weak foot, make him uncomfortable. This is what wingers like Bukayo Saka do constantly. They study their opponent in the first 10 minutes, figure out their weak foot, and then attack it relentlessly. Here's how you do this in a real game. First 5 minutes, test both sides. Go outside once, cut inside once. See how he reacts. Which way does he look more comfortable defending? Then, for the rest of the match, attack the opposite side. It's that simple, but 90% of wingers never do it. And if you really want to mess with defenders, here's an advanced move. Fake on his strong side, then cut back to his weak side. His brain tells him he's safe, then suddenly he's on his weak foot and you're gone. Alright, mistake 5 is probably the biggest one on this entire list. You're not making runs without the ball. This is the difference between good wingers and world-class wingers. And most of you are completely ignoring it. Here's what usually happens. When your team has the ball on the other side of the pitch, you just stand there, watching, waiting for the ball to come to you. But while you're standing still, you're useless. You're not creating space, you're not stretching the defense, you're literally just existing. Elite wingers never stop moving, even when the ball is nowhere near them. Watch how often Vinicius Jr. makes runs when Real Madrid are attacking down the right side. He's pulling defenders, creating space for others, making himself available for a switch. And here's the thing. These runs without the ball are what create your chances with the ball. When you make a run in behind, the fullback has to track you. Now there's space in front for you to receive. You just created your own opportunity. Here's what you need to do. Every time your team has the ball and you don't, make a run. Not a jog, a proper sprint. In behind, into space across the defender. Make them work. Make them think about you even when you don't have the ball. Because tired defenders make mistakes and distracted defenders lose their man. The rule is simple. If you're not getting the ball for 10 seconds, you should be making a run to create space. Not for you, for your team. That's what separates professionals from amateurs. Now, mistake 6 is about your decision making, and it's killing your team's attacks. You're trying to beat your man too many times. Look, we all love a nutmeg. We all want to send defenders to the shops. But here's the reality. If you beat your man once and then try to beat him again, you're being greedy. And greed kills attacks. When you beat a defender, you've won. You've created an advantage. The defense is scrambled. But then you try some fancy skill to beat him a second time. You lose the ball, and the advantage is gone. Everyone's back in position. You just wasted your team's best chance. The best wingers know this. Beat your man once, then make the next action count. Cross it, pass it, shoot it. Don't give him a chance to recover. Speed of thought is more important than speed of feet. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind. When wingers beat their defender and immediately deliver, the chance of creating a goal-scoring opportunity is about 55%. When they try to beat him again, it drops to 20%. You're literally cutting your effectiveness in half. So next time you beat your man, resist the urge to do another step over. Just get your head up and make the killer pass or cross. That's what winning teams need. But here's where it gets interesting, because mistake 7 is the opposite problem. You're not taking enough risks in the final third. Wait, didn't I just say don't be greedy? Yeah, but there's a difference between taking risks and being stupid. And you need to understand where to take risks. In your own half, keep it simple. In the middle third, keep it simple. But in the final third, that's where you need to be brave. That's where you need to try the killer pass, attempt the dribble, take the shot. Too many wingers play it safe in the final third. They pass backwards, they pass sideways, they look for the easy option. But here's the truth. You're not going to create goals by being safe. The final third is where defenders expect you to do something special. So do it. Think about the best wingers in the world. When they're near the box, they're constantly trying things. Rabona crosses, no-look passes, long-range shots. Why? Because even if 9 attempts don't work, the 10th one creates a goal. And that's all that matters. Here's your mindset shift. In the final third, a failed attempt is better than a safe pass. Why? Because a failed attempt might force a corner, a throw-in, or an error. A safe pass just keeps the ball and nothing happens. Obviously, don't be reckless, but be willing to fail in the final third. That's where magic happens. Mistake 8 is technical, and you probably don't even know you're doing it. Your first touch is taking you away from goal. This is subtle but massive. When you receive the ball as a winger, which direction is your first touch taking you? If it's backwards or sideways, you've already lost momentum. Every time you touch the ball, you should be thinking, how does this touch get me closer to scoring or creating? If your first touch is just controlling the ball with no direction, you're wasting time and space. The best wingers take touches that set up their next action. If they're going to cross, their first touch opens up the crossing angle. If they're going to cut inside, their first touch sets them up for the shot. Every touch has a purpose. Here's a training drill that'll fix this. When you're practicing, before you receive the ball, decide where your next action is going to be. Then make sure your first touch takes you there. In games, this becomes automatic. Your first touch will always be positive, always be forward, always be dangerous. And here's the key. A good first touch beats a defender before you even try to dribble. If your touch takes you into space, the defender has to chase you. You're already ahead, right? We're getting to the final few mistakes, and these ones are going to separate you from everyone else watching this. You're not using your weak foot. Brutal honesty time. If you can't use your weak foot, you're half a player, and defenders know it. When a fullback realizes you can only go one way, his job becomes easy. He just shows you onto your weak side and waits for you to mess up. You're completely predictable. But imagine this. You're one-on-one with a defender, and he doesn't know which foot you're going to use. He doesn't know if you're going left or right. He has to defend everything. That's a nightmare for him. Here's the standard. Your weak foot should be at least 70% as good as your strong foot. That means you can pass, shoot, and cross with decent accuracy. You don't need to be perfect, just good enough that defenders have to respect it. And here's how you train it. Every single training session, do 50 touches with your weak foot. Just touches. Control, pass, shoot. 50 touches every session. In 6 months, your weak foot will be unrecognizable. The players who make it to the professional level aren't the most talented. They're the most complete. And that means 2 feet. Mistake 10, and this one's about your mentality. You're not staying wide enough. When a game gets tough, when you're not getting the ball, what do? You drift inside, right? You want to get involved, so you come central and try to find the ball. But here's what's actually happening. When you drift inside, you just made the pitch smaller. You've taken away the width that stretches the defense. You made it easier for them to defend. Elite wingers stay wide, even when it's boring, even when they're not getting the ball. Why? Because just by being there, you're pinning the fullback. He can't leave you because if he does, you're free. So he has to stay with you, which creates space for your teammates central. Your position creates space for others. That's your job when you don't have the ball. Stay wide, stay high, and force that fullback to make a decision. The moment he tucks in, you're available for the switch. The moment he stays with you, there's space inside. Here's the rule. You should be within 5 meters of the touchline for at least 60% of the game. That's your zone. Own it. This next mistake is costing you so many chances, and you don't even realize it. You're not checking your shoulder. Before you receive the ball, are you looking behind you? Are you checking where the defender is? Or are you just watching the ball and hoping for the best? Shoulder checks are what separate players who know what's happening from players who are guessing. When you check your shoulder before receiving, you already know if you have time, if you can turn, if you should lay it off. The best wingers check their shoulder at least 3 times before they receive the ball. Once to see where the defender is, once to see where the space is, once to confirm their decision. By the time the ball arrives, they already know exactly what they're going to do. Here's what happens when you don't check. You receive the ball, you look up, and the defender's already on you. You panic, you lose it, and your team loses possession. All because you didn't look for half a second. Make this a habit. Every time the ball's coming to you, check your shoulder, even if it feels unnatural at first. Eventually, it becomes automatic, and suddenly you'll have so much more time on the ball. All right, 3 more mistakes, and then I've got something special for you at the end. You're not communicating with your fullback. Your fullback is your partner. You're a team within the team. But are you actually talking to him? When you push forward, does your fullback know to cover? When you want him to overlap, do you tell him? Or are you both just doing your own thing and hoping it works out? Elite wingers and fullbacks have a constant conversation. I'm going inside, you overlap. Hold the width, I'm coming back to defend. Switch the play, I'm free. This communication creates patterns that destroy defenses. And here's the thing, when you and your fullback are synchronized, you're basically undefeatable on that side. You can create 2-on-1s, overlaps, underlaps, switches. The possibilities are endless. Start simple. Before the game, talk to your fullback. Agree on a few patterns. When you point down the line, he overlaps. When you check inside, he holds wide. Create signals, create understanding, create partnership. This is what makes Sulla and Alexander-Arnold so dangerous. They know exactly what the other is going to do. Mistake 13 is about your defensive work, and yeah, you have to defend. You're not tracking back properly. Look, I know you're a winger. I know you want to attack. But if you don't track back, you're a luxury player. And luxury players don't play. When you lose the ball, what do? Do you immediately sprint back? Or do you walk and complain and hope someone else does it? The difference between a winger who plays every week and a winger who sits on the bench is defensive work rate. Managers notice this. Teammates notice this. If you don't track your fullback, you're leaving your team exposed. Here's the standard. When you lose the ball, you should be the first person back. Sprint back, get goal side, help your defense. Then, when you win it back, you can attack again. But you have to defend first. And here's the secret. Tracking back actually creates attacking opportunities. When you press high and win the ball back, you're already in an attacking position. The defense is unorganized. That's when chances happen. So stop moaning about defensive work. It's part of the game, and it's part of being elite. 2 more mistakes, and these are the ones that'll take you to the next level. You're not varying your pace. You're fast. Great. But if you're running at full speed all the time, you're easy to defend. Why? Because defenders can see it coming. The best dribblers in the world don't just have top speed. They have changes of pace. They'll go slow, 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 then bang, they're gone. That change is what beats defenders. Think about it. If you're sprinting at a defender, he can backpedal and match your speed. But if you're jogging, then suddenly accelerate, he's caught flat-footed. His momentum is wrong. He can't recover. This is what makes players like Musiala and Dembele so hard to defend. They'll dribble slowly, almost walking speed, then explode in one touch. Defenders have no idea when it's coming. Here's how you train this. Practice dribbling at 70% speed, then accelerating to full speed for 3 touches. Slow, 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 fast, 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 slow again. Get comfortable with changing gears. In games, this means you're not tired all the time, and when you do accelerate, it's devastating. Final mistake, and this is the one that's going to stick with you. You're not being patient. You want to score every time you get the ball. You want to create magic every touch. But football doesn't work like that. Sometimes your job is to keep the ball. Sometimes your job is to draw defenders and pass. Sometimes your job is to recycle possession and wait for a better opportunity. The best wingers know when to attack and when to be patient. They don't force things. They wait for the right moment. And when it comes, they destroy. This is maturity. This is game intelligence. And this is what scouts look for. Here's your new mindset. Not every touch has to be spectacular. Sometimes the best play is the simple play that keeps your team in control. Be patient, wait for your moment, then strike. So there you have it. 15 mistakes that are holding you back. Now here's the question. Are you actually going to fix them? Or are you going to keep making the same errors and wondering why you're not improving? The choice is yours. But if you want to become that elite winger, the one everyone's talking about, you know what you need to do. Train these details, fix these mistakes, and watch what happens. Now get out there and prove everyone wrong.